David, thank you very much indeed. I mean, I am getting questions in the inbox saying, how on earth can Oxford University know this?
Well, absolutely. Good afternoon to you both. I mean, I think, Ben, when you mentioned earlier on, it's probably much more than that. You know, I think the Oxford University is as clueless as the Home Office when it comes to counting migrants. And there simply is no effective way for us to know who is in the country and who isn't, much the same as the European countries they mentioned in the study as well. So we simply don't know who's here. So how can they come to that number? I would imagine it's considerably more.
So, David, how much of a national security threat is this? We've got, if you're to believe Oxford's research, we've got record amounts of illegal migrants compared to any other European nation. We don't know where a lot of them are. Should the public be concerned?
I think that more of a concern for me is, I mean, you know, just because someone's an illegal migrant or asylum seeker doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. I think more of a concern is that we just don't know who is in this country and who isn't, whether they're illegal or otherwise or visiting. You know, there's no mechanism that's accurate of when, let's say, for example, let's look last I think up until March, you had just under 500,000 student visas. When those student visas expire, we don't know for sure if those students have gone back to their country or stayed here illegally. So we have no clue who's here and who isn't. So it's a wider issue, I think, than just actual people coming across illegally. We need to know who's in the country and who isn't. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, we've heard from the new government, Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary in particular, about how she's going to, try and find illegal immigrants and sort this issue out, tackling places like nail salons or car washes. Most recently, people have been talking about how delivery app services are being used by illegal migrants. How much... Is this an impossible task?
I think no. I mean, I think the first thing, we're an island, so it should be easy, certainly easier in a country like France with very borders across Europe. We should be able to find a mechanism to check people when they come in and check people when they go out and to make sure they go out. So that would be, to me, one of the first things we should do. And I think, Emily, I've mentioned it before, when we look at passport controls. You know, I lived in the Middle East for a long time, and in the country where I went to, when I went in and when I went out, my passport was checked and my visa. In that case, if I'd overstayed or anything like that, I would be in serious trouble. We don't have that. We don't have those passport checks generally when we go out. We rely on things like API data, which really doesn't do the job. So I think there are so many more things we need to be doing than going to a few nail salons and a few car washes. But it's going to take a long time. You know, the system is completely broken. So there's many things that need to be done. And it's going to take a long time. And the figures, like I said before, are going to get a lot worse before they get better. And the study today, I think it's the tip of the iceberg.
David, practically, let's imagine we're still in the ECHR at this point. Could we do mass deportations of illegal migrants, as Donald Trump has pledged to do in America? I think 9 out of 10 Trump supporters in America vote mass deportations of illegal migrants. Could we do that here? Because Nigel Farage was asked in an interview the other week by our US reporter Steve Edgington, and he said it just wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible. Is that right? Can we just not get a mass deportation operation off the ground?
I mean, from a logistic perspective, and from a legal perspective, I mean, you can do it, but you're effectively breaking the various laws. The ECHR will be one of them. So, you look at other countries that have ignored ECHR rulings. So it could be done, but then we're breaching existing laws that we did at one point enter into. All right, they developed with case law. So technically it's possible, but it's breaking laws. And that's obviously one of the big debates you've seen with the ECHR, whether or not that's something that should be ignored, whether or not we should come out of that. But again, I think certainly under Starmer, it's clear that we are not going to be leaving the ECHR.